Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
FightSaga.com presents WAWR Week Radio Chats with boxing scribe Joseph Hearn.
Guys, welcome. It's been about 3 weeks since I've actually been on the air in a live broadcast?
It's been a while.
My word. Well, I apologize, guys. And once again, I want to thank you for being here. I've been taking a, much needed break from everything boxing. But guys, I did miss it, and I missed all of you as a result. And guys, so we are here to celebrate the great month of December, the best time of the year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you guys. So even though we don't have Coach Ronnie here, even though we don't have Rick Glazier or James Gogi, who, they're taking the month of December off also, I've devised a fact or fiction specially just for you guys. And guys, this would not be an episode of WAWR Week Radio Chats without the counsel of my very dear friend, Frank by the Bay. Frank, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good, like you, just getting ready for the holidays and ready to eat and drink and be merry.
I tell you what, man, the Christmas is by far the best time of year. I absolutely love it. From Halloween, in my opinion, from Halloween on until the new year, it is easily the best time of the year, not only for the weather, but everyone seems to be in the giving spirit.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. I mean, as a kid growing up.
Excluding the sport of boxing, I should say.
Yep. Yeah, best time of year. Get to see all
Frank,
the
I'm sorry, you were saying as a kid. You were saying as a kid, brother. As
a kid, it was my favorite time of the year, and it still is.
Well, yeah, and look, and I will say, as a middle-aged man, I still feel very kid-like at Christmas time, and I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't think of, I prefer to share it with you guys. So God bless you guys, and thank you for joining me at this time. And we have a very special program in store for all of you. So let's go to the comment section right now before we get started.
Okay.
Want to greet my brother Tycho TV. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us on this very special podcast. Thank you, John McSmith, for always supporting WAWR Week Radio. Salute the voice of WAWR Week Radio, Mr. Joseph Hearn. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us and always supporting the cause, brother. And to a very dear friend of mine from New York, Big Luke, who was, he was with us when we just started, gosh, dare I say over 10 years ago, right, on the podcast. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us, Big Luke. God bless you, brother. Also, my brother, Issy B. DeVoe. Thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, brother. And Big Luke poses a question. Who's middle-aged around here? Yeah,
I know,
no
right?
kidding.
Speak for yourself.
Can you still call over half a century on this earth middle-aged?
Hey, man,
I don't
60's
know.
the new 50, 50's the new 40, 40's the new 30.
Except when you like to indulge in sweet amber like I do. My word.
George Burns lived to 100. Ozzy Osbourne's still kicking and ticking.
Oh, you know what? Those are very good points, and I will take it, my friend. And guys, don't forget, this show is brought to you by Halftime Pizza. Guys, Dave and Maria Garcia are great people who always support the sport of boxing and the boxing community here in the greater San Antonio area, as well as yours truly in this show on War Week Radio. God bless you, Dave and Maria Garcia. Thank you so much for always supporting this channel. So if you're in the San Antonio area, please go get a slice from Halftime Pizza. Oh boy, Big Luke is spilling the beans. 57. Oh, I'm right behind you, brother.
47.
I'm right behind you, brother. Oh, and here's my brother James, who I was on just on his channel. James from the Boxing Store says, watching War Week Radio while chowing down dinner. And I hope you're enjoying that cold teriyaki chicken. I hope you reheated it, brother. I tell you what, I tell you what, Frank, before we get started on Fact or Fiction,
okay,
I am going to toast all of you guys because I'm indulging in some sweet amber this evening. Here's to all of you guys for a wonderful year of War Week Radio.
Well, thank you.
We couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are such you guys are a sight for sore eyes. And you guys, we love you being all of you, extended family members of War Week Radio. We couldn't do this without you. So on behalf of James Gogi, Ronnie Shields, and Big Rick Glazier, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. We love you. Thank you so much. Down the hatch.
Salute.
With that said, here comes Fact or Fiction. Hold on before. Let me give a shout out to my brother Jesus M. Thank you for being a part of War Week Radio all year round. We appreciate it, my friend. How you doing, Joe? Well, I will tell you, and because I have no filter because of, I've been indulging leading up to the show. I will tell you, I was kind of screwed out of money in my last event. I'm not going to go into specifics, but if you would like to donate to War Week Radio, I would appreciate it this Christmas because I was counting on that money. So anyone wants to make a donation to the programming of War Week Radio, please, it would be greatly appreciated at this time. And for the first time, it would not be going to the local gyms in San Antonio. It would be going to the Joseph Hearn Christmas Fund and his family. It would be going to the St. Nicholas Christmas Fund. Yes. So thank you guys. And I hope that you're feeling generous. Thank you so much, guys. But God bless you. And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate all you guys being here. So, Frank.
Yes.
What do you have to be thankful for in this year, 2022, this year in boxing, brother?
And this year in boxing, I think I would have to be thankful for, some of the undisputed matches that we got. Seeing Canelo still here, fighting. Despite what happened, doing big events. Seeing Inoue, undisputed, Charlo undisputed. Seeing some of these new prospects. So, what it was. We've had a lot of issues, but there's a lot of hope. Going into 2023 with Tank and Ryan. So, I'm happy that boxing's giving me hope, if that makes any sense.
No, that is a beautiful thing, brother. And once again, we're all hopeful, being diehard slaves to the beautiful sport of boxing. Because once again, guys, and look, when I first got in this business, the great Don Chargan, the late great Don Chargan, one of my mentors, right? What we named the show after, right? War Week Radio. He once told me, he said, look, once you get bit by the boxing bug, you are in it for life. And boy, ain't that a fact. We're hooked. And these promoters know it. Damn it, we're hooked. So here we go, Frank. Fact or Fiction. Okay. Are you ready? Number one. And you guys, please play along. It's in the description. On the YouTube channel. So please expound the description and you'll see all of the prognostications from this episode of Fact or Fiction. And rather than playing it with Coach Ronnie, we're going to play it with all of you guys, including my brother, Frank by the Bay. Thank you for being here, Frank. We love you, man.
Oh man, thank you for having me. I'm
So
just waiting
here-
for you to give me the boot. So I'll stay until you do.
Stop it. You're a great dude and you're very knowledgeable. Despite all of your meaningless tirades on Twitter,
Oh, Joe,
we
you
love
know
you
it's
nonetheless, man.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment, Joe.
Well, I tell you what, brother. We'll go into that a little bit later because I have
Okay.
a lot to say about the meaningless and ignorant cesspool that is
That's
boxing
what it
Twitter.
is. Yes.
So here's number one, brother.
Okay.
And once again, guys, I've missed you guys so much. So thank you for being here. Number one, Frank.
Uh-huh.
Fact or fiction, here it goes. Eddie Hearn is indeed correct when he makes the claim Teofimo Lopez is regressing as a fighter. Fact or fiction?
Well, I think it's clearly evident. It's fact.
Oh,
And
boy.
I know that will be construed as a hateful comment, but you know, and as all of us in life have to be able to accept constructive criticism. That's how we grow.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. So what did you see in that fight with Sandor Martin, right? Even though he got the split decision victory, even though he was the A side, what did you see in that matchup, in that fight, the way it played out, that leads you to believe that he's regressing as a fighter?
Okay. Well, I have some unpopular opinions that maybe you've seen, you know, when I talk about boxing and even just online or on Twitter or whatever, but even just people in general. The unpopular opinion is I think he had a bad dance partner. I'm not blaming Tio, but the guy that he was there was not there to engage with them. So, you know, guys like Martin are going to make a lot of people look bad. So, but also that's what Tio needs to do is get guys like that out of there. Like Inoue had a guy in front of him that didn't want to engage, but the special fighter that he is went in there and got him out of there. So has Tio regressed? Yeah, I think he has regressed. I mean, and what I mean by regress is he hasn't really added anything new. I mean, we haven't seen him progress because he's at a new weight division. He doesn't look the same. And that's what I'm, well, let me just finish. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to distinguish. Is it just he's at a new weight and he's just not going to be effective, or he really has lost a step or hasn't learned anything new?
Well, guys, you know what? This is so perplexing. And we're going to hang on this number one for, well, I'm predicting, a bit of a minute, right? Because several things. Frank, in your opinion, at 140, does he look like a bigger fighter than he was at 35? Did he put on more muscle? Does he have greater crack in his shot? Does he have a greater advantage campaigning at 140? And let me ask you something. With a nutritionist, should he actually try to slim down and make 135 again?
No, I don't think, based on what he claims happened, that he literally was killing himself to make 135. I don't think that'd be a good idea. But with the nutritionist, I mean, at 140, he could probably, you know, look a little bit stronger, because it's pretty clear that he's not acclimated to the weight yet. He's just not the explosive puncher that he was. It's the same thing we're going to see with Inoue. That's what makes this new weight jump so special to watch, is that can Inoue
don't
carry...
get ahead of us, brother. That's coming
up.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's all right. That's all right, brother. But I will say this. Look, I will say this, man. Teofimo Lopez, look, moving up in weight doesn't seem to be advantageous for him at this time. He doesn't look any bigger. He doesn't look more explosive. And it's quite surprising, because he was killing himself at 35 and still performing at a very high level. You wouldn't think that he would look like this at 40. I thought he would be one of the elite very quickly at 140. And that's a very subjective opinion, of course. But Frank, does he look like one of the elite at 140?
No. I mean, in my opinion, I would expect an elite fighter to get somebody like Sandor out of there, or at least beat him a little more convincing. But you know, it's like I have to say it with I forgot the word. There's a word for it.
Well, I will say this. Frank, while you're thinking of that. When you say someone like Sandor Martin, this is a guy who has a victory over Mikey Garcia, arguably a future Hall of Famer. Are you discounting the ability of Sandor Martin? And are you discounting the fact that Sandor Martin coming into Madison Square Garden was the apparent B side and really had nothing to lose in this matchup?
Yeah, it sounds like it, but I had this argument before about Sandor Martin, and I came to the conclusion just on my side that Teofimo needed to impress, and that if he didn't, there was going to be a lot of questions whether they're warranted or not. I mean, not counting, like, honestly, Sandor's irrelevant, and here's what I mean. It didn't matter who was in front of Teo that night, whether it was Barbosa or Sandor. He needed.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it performs better or worse against Jose Pedraza, who was the original opponent for December 10th?
Oh, I think he would have stopped Pedraza.
Exactly. That's my point.
Oh, well, I'm glad you led me there.
Well, hey, man, I'm a commentator. That's what I do. But, hey, look, guys. There's a reason why Top Rank went ahead and went through with this event with Sandor Martin. He's a similar style matchup, but he's a natural 40-pounder. But he doesn't have much crack in his shot. Here's the problem. And this is where Frank is right in stating that, well, seemingly, Teofimo Lopez has regressed as a fighter. When you look at another southpaw that he faced in Vasyl Lomachenko, you look at what steps he took to win the fight. In the first half of the fight, he was forced to be the aggressor. And he cut off the ring much more proficiently. He cut off the escape routes. And how did he do that? He kept his front foot on the outside of Vasyl Lomachenko's front foot, not giving him the option of pivoting around him. He cut off that escape route. Where was that all throughout the Sandor Martin fight? Where was that? Frank? Maybe I'm imagining things.
No.
But did he ever cut off the ring intelligently against Martin?
He was just basically Elmer Fudd out there trying to catch a rabbit.
Did you just say Elmer Fudd?
Yeah. The wily wabbit's getting away.
Oh, Chingao, dude. Oh my gosh, I love me some Looney Tunes. That's great stuff, man. I tell you what, before we move forward, let me just give a shout out to my brother, a gentleman who supported War Week Radio all 2022. And that's my brother Peter Von Arx. Thank you so much for being here tonight, brother. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. And he says, fact. But he says also, well, he's not necessarily regressing. He's just running into tougher competition at a different weight division. Okay. And he also says, I thought Sandor beat Teofimo. I will say this. There are two reasons why I scored the fight in favor of Teofimo Lopez. One, Sandor Martin, to the advantage of Teofimo Lopez, doesn't have enough crack in his shot. Okay? And two, most importantly, if you're fighting as sparsely as Martin, you need to have some crack in your shot if you're looking for that one punch as he's coming in. Okay? Boy, you're going to need more crack in your shot, right? If you're just looking for that one punch. which he seemed to be doing all night. Brother, you're a cutie pie. In the immortal words of James Gogi and Emmanuel Stewart. In the immortal words of those two guys, you're a cutie pie. You like to box from mid to long range. You don't have crack in your shot. What are you doing? Waiting for one punch at a time. You think you're going to make this guy run into a brick wall? No. So look, here it is. And I can understand why you're saying regressing. One, he didn't cut off the escape routes. And two, oh my gosh, it's obvious Teofimo Lopez is not an effective aggressor. Guys, if you go back and look historically in his past, this is a guy who's a pocket counterpuncher, right? He's a pocket counterpuncher. He's a guy who depends on his opposition coming at him and making them pay with the sharper reflexes, okay? The better counterpunching ability, the speed, the accuracy, the power. He depends on an opponent's aggression, making him look better. One thing that tells you, right, and this is a total giveaway, one thing that tells you that Teofimo Lopez is not an effective aggressor. Look how he tried to, apply intelligent pressure, and is far from intelligent, in my opinion. Did you ever see him try to cut off the ring, fighting behind the high guard, the earmuff defense? Did you ever see him cover up while trying to close the distance?
No, he never implied that strategy once.
No, dude. And once again, did he ever try to cut off the ring effectively before he tried to close the distance? Because once again, you ask anyone, even someone who ate a lot of punches like Brandon Rios. Okay, rule of thumb, you try to cut off the ring before attempting to close the distance. That's fundamentals 101. Guys, that's elementary. So, you know what, Teofimo Sr.? Put the bottle down, brother. You can scream at him all you want in the corner, but unless you practice it in the gym, he's not going to apply it in a fight. He's not going to show that to you in the ring. Come on, man. I mean,
pretty much nailed it.
And that's boxing 101, guys. So in my opinion, okay, Merry Christmas, Teofimo. You need a new trainer, brother. You need a new trainer. Okay? Keep your dad on, okay, on the team if he demands it, if you want it. Okay? But one, Teofimo, brother, I'm telling you this from experience. This is your life. You live it your way, brother. Okay? Even if your dad is trying to vicariously live his life through yours. Okay? This is your life. You live it your way. You call the shots. And you know what, brother? Even if you want to keep your dad on, hire another trainer. One that is proficient in adding that new wrinkle to your fight game. Do it. What are you waiting for, brother? This is a sport of young men. What happens to fighters when they get older, Frank?
They lose their reflexes.
That's it. And if your area of expertise is based on your reflexes and athleticism, time is of the essence. Teofimo, hire a new trainer, brother. Don't go out like Danny Garcia, who's stuck with his dad the entire time. What happened to his career?
That's a good example.
Okay?
Very fair.
Don't go that route, brother. Hire another trainer while you're still a commodity under the tutelage of Top Rank Inc. Okay? Those are my final thoughts. Your final thoughts, Frank?
No, I think, I've had conversations about this, and I think you probably just gave the fairest assessment. I've heard other assessments, but they've all kind of been slanted one way or the other. But I think what you said pretty much is the story.
Well,
know,
thank
that
you for saying that, my friend.
he's still got it, but he needs help, and everybody needs help. That's just the story of life, right? Sometimes we're doing things that are not working. It's just not working, and you're getting by there. He's getting by on talent alone, but there's going to come a time when you're going to need more than talent.
That's it. Look, guys, look, and look, and this is going to remain unnamed, right? And we talked about this earlier, Frank. I tuned into a show for about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and I heard rubbish of someone.
Rubbish.
And once again, yeah, rubbish. And I think it was a Ringside Report. Okay, so I am going to name drop because, well, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Feeling pretty warm with some sweet amber down my gullet. And so, yeah, it was Ringside Report. That pasty, jughead-looking bastard, right? Trying to compare Teofimo Lopez to Floyd Mayweather Jr., saying that, oh, you know what, Floyd Mayweather Jr., oh, he did whatever it took to get that W. And I'm like, well, yeah, because he could. You're comparing Floyd Mayweather Jr. to Teofimo Jr.? Really? Look, guys. Okay, this is the only comparison you can make to Teofimo and Floyd Jr., right? Both guys are athletically gifted with brilliant reflexes in the ring. That's the only comparison that you can make between both men. But when you look at Teofimo Jr. under the tutelage of Teofimo Sr., and you compare that to Floyd Jr. growing up with two great boxing minds. One, defensively minded, Floyd Sr. Two, Roger Mayweather, right? An offensive-minded fighter. So he got the best of both worlds. He understood what it took to be an effective aggressor. He could make the appropriate adjustments in a fight, right? Because he could. Teofimo Jr., do you really think he could have made that adjustment under the tutelage of Teofimo Sr.? No, because I promise you, if you don't teach it in the gym and practice it in the gym, it's not going to show up in the fight magically. That's not going to happen. So when you saw Floyd Jr. faced with a guy who was equal in reflexes, maybe even better speed in Zab Judah when they fought, Floyd Mayweather, what did he do to make the adjustment? He put up the high guard, fighting behind the high guard, and tried to be the aggressor. And guess what? He won the fight. And why? Because he could. Why? Yeah. Because he was taught that, right? But look, once again, if you're not taught that, you can't do it. And more specifically, regarding Teofimo Sr., if you don't know it, you can't teach it. Yeah, damn it, Teofimo, you need to get another trainer, brother.
You can't know what you don't know.
That's it. You can't teach what you don't know. Very well said, Frank. Very well summed up, brother.
I was just piggybacking. Really? You said it. I was just piggybacking.
Well, there it is, man. There it is. So I will say this. Teofimo, you've got the potential to be one of the biggest stars of the sport. Definitely. Quit listening to your dad. Tell your dad, urge him to put down the bottle. All right? And hire a new trainer. And let me give a big shout out to my brother, H. Money. Salute to you, brother. Merry Christmas, my friend. God bless you, and thank you for joining us. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother, someone who's supported us throughout the entire 2022. And that's my brother, Sid UK. God bless you, brother, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's good to be back, and I missed all of you. And he says, Sandor won on my books, or draw at the very least. Teofimo needs to get a new trainer and stop focusing on other boxers. His ego, and worse, his dad's ego, is ruining his career. Ego is a terrible thing in boxing when you need, here's a big problem, because a healthy ego can take you very far in the sport of boxing. But when it starts hindering your progress, okay, that's when it becomes a bad thing. And it's obviously become a bad thing in the life of Teofimo Lopez. Right?
Yep.
Here's where being the A side, being the headliner at Madison Square Garden was a detriment to his fight against Sandor Martin. You had a guy who was flown in from Spain, a non-ticket seller, a non-marketable entity in America. No one gives a shit about this guy. He's a boxer puncher from mid to long range, doesn't have much crack in his shot, not a good-looking guy. Right? We can say that. We can say that. Right? So
yes,
this guy is flown in and has nothing to lose. Right? Mm-hmm. So when you're pitted in the ring against this guy and you're Teofimo Lopez, he's the crowd favorite, he's the headliner, and you've got one counterpuncher standing on the opposite side of the ring from another counterpuncher. When you start hearing boos, who's going to have the pressure and the onus of forcing the action?
Yeah, the boo birds were out.
Yep. And justifiably so. So who's going to feel the pressure of forcing the action? Guys, take a page out of boxing history. Look at Nonito Donaire versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. Nonito Donaire was the HBO darling. He was the obvious A-side. Guillermo Rigondeaux, he was like, hey, man, I'm just happy to be here. And if you want to force the action, that's on you, brother, because I'm terribly happy at just sticking to my fight plan and forcing you to adapt to mine. Right?
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he's known for.
So you can kiss my ass if you think that I'm going to take the lead and be just an obliging third party. So guess what happened? Nonito Donaire heard the boos, and the pressure was on him to force the action of the fight. Now think about what happened this past Saturday night. You think Teofimo Lopez was happy to do that? Hell no.
He was pretty reluctant.
That's it. He did it out of necessity in his mind. And why? Because he was the A side. He was the headliner, and his ego got the better of him. Okay?
Yeah. That's the diagnosis.
That's it. That's what happened on Saturday, guys. But anyone who's shitting on Teofimo Lopez, shame on you. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think even with everything, I still think him and Regis and Taylor are great fights. I still want to see him. I think he still has a lot to do.
Somehow, I think that's coming up in Fact or Fiction. So are you ready for number 2, my friend?
Sure.
Here we go. Fact or fiction. Well, hold on. This is what Eddie Hearn had to say about Teofimo Lopez potentially regressing. He said this, quote, if you start doubting yourself in any form of life, it's a problem. But if you start doubting yourself in boxing, that's an even bigger problem. Do I still got it? After his controversial win over Sandor Martin last night, he said that. It's poor, in my opinion, it's poor matchmaking from Top Rank. But you've got to be able to beat all styles. And it was a late replacement, I'll give him that. Sandor Martin is not a good guy to fight when your confidence is in trouble or in doubt. And it's questionable that Teofimo Lopez's confidence is in trouble. It's unquestionable. End quote. Okay, so once again, Frank, we're going to stay on this for just a minute more.
Okay.
Are fans making too much of Teofimo Lopez's gaffe? Okay, his audible gaffe in asking his team, do I still have it?
Are fans making too much? In my opinion, I believe they are. And from what I understand, he was answering a question. He wasn't necessarily someone was asking him a question, and they recorded a soundbite. And I don't know the context, I don't know the full conversation, but I don't think he just said that out of the blue. I think people are making too much of it. I think it happens all the time. That fighters, people in general, doubt themselves, even at the highest level.
You know what, brother? I think you're right. Here's what Sid UK has to say. I love this. Teofimo Sr. is batshit crazy and schizophrenic. He's got 9 personalities in that gym. So technically, Teofimo has more training minds with him than Floyd Mayweather.
And let me just add to that is that, you know, the minute that what's that pride coming before the fall. So the minute that you start believing you're too good and you don't need it, then that's what happens. Like self-doubt is actually a motivator. I'm saying it could be argued, right?
Well, in boxing, it's weird, Frank, and I stated this before Deontay Wilder lost, right? And if you think about it, this was the whole genesis of Glovegate. This is a guy who is brimming with confidence, right? And I'm talking about Deontay Wilder going into that second fight with Tyson Fury. He was brimming with confidence. This is a guy who is in the promotion of the event, well, being touted as the biggest puncher in the history of boxing, that he was a future Hall of Famer, that he was in the same league as George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis,
right,
Rocky Marciano, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. Okay, so what happened after he lost? He couldn't deal with it. He's like, wait a minute, this guy who couldn't punch himself out of a paper bag knocked me out, floored me twice. This is a guy who was happy to get a draw in our first fight. Now he's stopping me within the distance. Wait a minute, there has to be something wrong here. Let me look to something like Glovegate to make sense of all of this, because otherwise it doesn't in my mind. That's a problem. Guys, when you're a prize fighter and you're brimming with confidence, this often happens. And Teofimo Lopez, after the takeover happened, right? The supposed quote-unquote takeover in which he was going to take over the sport of boxing, right?
Yeah. Right.
That was a problem. In his mind, he couldn't lose. And then we eventually lost to George Kambosos Jr. from Australia. Wait a minute, that wasn't supposed to happen. And all of a sudden you heard the same delusional bullshit come out of his mouth. Oh, it was DAZN. It was Eddie Hearn just trying to force me to lose so they can pave the way for Devin Haney, right? You get that kind of nonsense when you're brimming with confidence. In my opinion, yes, his bravado, his confidence, his ego has been a detriment since winning the title, winning the undisputed title, might I say, at 35. In my opinion, that's been a huge detriment in his corner. And once again, guys, historically, that tells us this. So, guys, it's my pleasure to introduce this gentleman, a gentleman who supported WAWR Radio throughout 2022, my brother Anthony. Anthony, how are you doing tonight, brother?
Yeah, I agree with you. The win kind of got to Teo's head, and the ego's a detriment. But I'm saying this also. His father is a detriment as well. He's encouraging this bullshit too. Like, let's not forget that.
Well, look, Anthony, no one is forgetting that, because to be honest with you, where do you think Teofimo gets it? Okay, the fruit doesn't fall
needs
far.
To cut loose. I've said this, Joe.
You know what? And you're absolutely right. Anthony, you're absolutely right. Once again, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. And in order to move forward in his career, in order to progress, once again, I think you're absolutely right. He has to not necessarily cut ties with his dad, but to get a proficient and respectable head trainer in his camp, right?
Yeah,
Guys, I want to give a shout out right now. Hold on, Anthony. Hold on, Anthony. I want to give a shout out to my brother Ryan from Boxing Gems. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. Want to give a shout out to my brother Ryan from Boxing Gems. Thank you for joining us. And it's been the first time I've been, well, on the air in about 3 weeks, right? So thank you for joining us tonight. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Ryan from Boxing Gems. He does great work. Merry Christmas, brother, and Happy New Year. And guys, hopefully, during the Frank Martin, Michelle Rivera fight, I'll be on his channel. So that's where you'll find me this Saturday night. Hopefully you guys will be up to that. Ryan, love you, brother. He says, has it really been that long? Yes. Look. Leading up to the Frank Gore fight, right? That I was doing the commentary for. Yeah, I took a week off in preparation to that. And because it was a complete disaster, and I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, I had to take some time off after that. So there it is. So yeah, it's been about 3 weeks.
Hey, Joe, I got in an argument with someone. I'm a Michelle Rivera fan. I got in an argument with people. I understand he's fighting on the Dominican Republic, but what people need to realize, his family's from Cuba. They defected. He's Cuban, actually. Michelle Rivera's not Dominican. It says he's Dominican because they moved it
technically, yeah.
There. Yeah, he defected to the DR. So
yep.
He's Cuban. He's a Cuban fighter. He came from that Cuban Olympic system and stuff like that. So let's not act like he's Dominican. He came out of that Dominican boxing system. He came from the Cuban Olympic system and stuff like that.
Well, look, and that's going to come up a little bit later in Fact or Fiction. And in my opinion, that's why I'm actually, Gems, listen up. This is why I'm favoring Michelle Rivera to pull off the mild upset. Okay? That's why because once again, just like Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin, Frank Martin is going to feel the pressure of, well, having to force the action of the fight, just like he did against Jackson Mariñez. Unfortunately for him, Michelle Rivera is not Jackson Mariñez. We're going to get to that a little bit later. So here we go. Fact or Fiction number 2. Big Frank, are you ready?
Ready whenever you are.
Here it goes. Shakur Stevenson will seemingly be the most avoided fighter at 135 in 2023. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction.
Oh, okay. Explain yourself, brother.
Well, I mean, I don't really. I mean, I understand the question, but I don't understand the nature of it. What are we saying?
Well, okay. So here it is. I'm going to say this again. Now, keep in mind, I'm a writer, so I will throw in these words to give more clarity. So it says Shakur Stevenson will seemingly be the most avoided fighter at 135 in 2023. That's the perception.
Okay? Oh, okay.
From fans, not anyone in the business, because anyone in the business understands, well, it goes much deeper than just, well, seemingly ducking someone else. Because once again, guys, ducking is a fan-driven concept. Okay?
Right. Okay. So when you put it in that way, then it would have to be fact. He will be considered the most avoided fighter, or boogeyman, or whatever people want to throw on their fighter to make them seem what's the word?
Bigger than they actually are.
I don't even know if it's that. They just want their fighter to appear to be the best without having to prove it.
Well, you know what, dude? And that's become a huge kind of misnomer among fans these days.
Let me just say, like what's happened to David Benavidez. Like, it's almost that's what David Benavidez has become.
Or before him, or I mean, since then, Janabek Ali Manala, before he, well, went life or death with his last opponent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He was being talked about in that kind of way.
Yeah. So once again,
Demetrius Andrade, Demetrius too. They
well,
said he was the
Demetrius.
boogeyman at one.
Yeah, well, you know what? Once again, I can't stand that kind of chatter. Look, if you're not a ticket seller and you are a good fighter, well, then what's the incentive for anyone to step in the ring with you? Does it mean you're a boogeyman, or does it mean you can't fucking sell tickets? Pardon my French. So what's the real answer?
You can't sell tickets.
What's the reality? That's it. Look, if you can sell tickets like Canelo, everyone is lining up to fight you no matter how good you are. If you can't sell tickets in the entertainment business, that is boxing, then guess what? You're going to be viewed as more risk than reward. That's it. Even if you are vulnerable, it doesn't matter. They're going to be like, well, who gives a shit? If I beat this guy and I don't look good doing it, how does it benefit from me? How does it benefit me? I don't get a big paycheck because this guy's not a ticket seller. So what's the benefit of me signing on the dotted line? That's the problem, right? Okay. So Shakur Stevenson, is he a big ticket seller at this time?
Not yet.
As far as I'm aware, as far as no, I mean, I think he did okay in his he did decent in his home, but as far as anywhere else, I'm not too aware that he's doing fantastic.
So what's the purpose of him calling out all of these names at 35 at this time, even before ever competing as a lightweight?
The truth?
Yep, let's hear it.
The truth is that that's what's become fashionable. You attach yourself to names that you have no intention of fighting to draw attention to your upcoming fights.
Ding, 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 ding. You dude, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And for that, Frank, I'm going to take a shot. Here it is.
Okay.
Sweet Amber down the hatch. We're 47 minutes in. And in the immortal words of Jerry Reed of Smoking the Bandit fame, we have a long way to go and a short time to get there. Here we go. Down the hatch. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And Tony, Frank, thank you for being here with me, guys. I love you guys both.
Man. It's
God
always
bless
fun.
you both. Merry Christmas, my friend.
That's right.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Here goes. So Hyphy, brother Hyphy, Merry Christmas, my friend. He says, Frank Martin has a better amateur background for what it's worth. However, this is a step-up fight for both guys who are counter-punchers by trade. Okay? So if Frank Martin is being touted as the A-side in this event, okay, he is the guy with the biggest promotional background, the biggest promotional push, and is being touted as a headliner in this event. Where's the pressure of forcing the fight? Are fans going to be content viewing this with two counterpunchers standing across the ring from each other, staring at each other, waiting for the first guy to make a move? Who's going to have the pressure of making the fight happen? In my opinion, Frank Martin is going to have that kind of onus or pressure on his back. In my opinion, in this style matchup, this is going to be his biggest detriment. But once again, guys, let's not jump the track. It's coming up on Fact or Fiction, I assure you. So going back to number 2, Shakur Stevenson, seemingly the most avoided fighter in 35. Who would you like him to fight? Because he's calling out all kinds of names, and they're not realistic. Right? They're not realistic. Realistically, when you look at the top rank stable, who can he realistically fight? Would you like to see him fight in those options?
With the usual suspects Top Rank has, is Pedraza? No, he's going up, right?
He's 40. He can't make 35 any longer. He's an old man.
Is Comey still there? Ortiz, the guy that
Comey's at 40 also, and he's a Lou DiBella guy.
Okay. Jermaine Ortiz, People felt he gave Loma the business.
Okay, so now you understand now why he's calling out these names that aren't interested in fighting him or aren't a realistic possibility. Okay, to paint this picture like he's the fucking boogeyman at lightweight, right?
Right.
That's the real reason, guys. So he's going to paint that perception that he's the boogeyman. But I will say this, with that said, not taking anything away from Shakur, that's a bad dude. Okay, he is
How about
among...
him versus wait, have one. How about him versus William Zepeda?
That's a Golden Boy fighter. Where are they going to fight? Top Rank or on ESPN or DAZN?
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen, brother. Isak Cruz at Showtime. Not going to happen. Once again, calling out these names that aren't realistic. And to further put a stamp on my point, a very knowledgeable gentleman indeed, I'm going to introduce at this time. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Boxing Gems, one of the more knowledgeable channels on YouTube. It's my pleasure to introduce my brother, Ryan from Boxing Gems. How you doing, my friend? Merry Christmas.
Joseph, what up, man? Happy holidays, man.
Hey, happy holidays to you, my friend. I tell you what, I missed you over the last several weeks, brother. But I've been listening to your shows.
Man, shit, it's been. I'm surprised it's been that long, man. I haven't even seen. I've been busy as shit though, so.
Oh, of course you have, man. Look, and I tell you what, with everything that's been going on, and once again, I'm not going to elaborate on this because of the calamity that was my last event. Yeah, I had to take a step back and take some time off. Right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Look, I didn't hear the part. I ain't hear the part you were talking about Shakur's options. Now I was just thinking, shit, if they only got Loma.
That's it.
Maybe they'll negotiate with Cambosos again.
Yep.
Jermaine. That's it.
Yep, that's it. So once again, what's the point of Shakur calling out all of these unrealistic names?
I don't know, man.
No,
it's
just to promote and to make it to create that perception of him being an avoided badass, because that always seems to turn the heads of the casual mainstream viewing audience. They want to make him a bigger ticket seller than he is.
Yeah,
now
it could be one other thing. He could just be naive.
He's a young kid. He's a young.
Well, let me ask you this, and no, hold on, Anthony. Is it naivete if you're as good and as technically proficient as Shakur Stevenson to think that you are indeed the baddest dude at 35, even though you never fought there?
No. I'm pretty sure he really thinks that.
That's it. Now, it may be proven to be false bravado, but at this point in time, it's somewhat justified. Right?
To me, it's delusional. That's delusional.
Yeah. But Shakur is not going to think it's delusional. He's a fighter. So, he's the baddest dude on the planet.
And leading up to this point, you look at his amateur and pro career combined. Is it delusional in his mind?
No,
or is it justified? This guy is a bad dude.
It's a fact in his mind.
Yep. And it's a fact according to most critics. Gems, I'm going to ask you, brother, can you count on one hand how many people are in boxing today are more proficient at controlling range than Shakur Stevenson?
I think Shakur is the most technically skilled fighter in the game.
Devin.
There it is. Right?
Devin Haney.
You look. As far as being the
Shakur is smashing Devin Haney when it comes to technical skills.
Now, let me ask you this. When you look at Terrence Crawford versus David Morrell, can you imagine Shakur Stevenson taking as many shots as Terrence Crawford did this past Saturday?
Ooh, that's a more interesting question. David Morrell is very, very awkward. So, yep. I kind of could.
Well, I will say this. Shakur has not proven to have as much dog in him as Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, and once again, going into this fight, right? Well, David Morrell, Terrence Crawford. I will say this. Like, going into this fight, I told my brother James Gogi, right, off the air, I said, look, his best chance for victory is going to also be, and I'm referring to Devin Avanesian, his best chance for victory is also his best chance for getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. That's true. Now, but let me explain it. Let me explain the Crawford Shakur thing versus Avanesian. So Shakur probably would get hit less, but like you're saying, he hasn't proven to have the dog that Crawford has. So he'll take way less risk than Terrence Crawford took.
That's it. As was shown in his fight against Nakatila.
Right. So 9 times out of 10, Shakur versus Avanesian goes 12 rounds and Shakur wins all 12.
Yep, that's it.
You know?
That's my point exactly.
Shakur doesn't load up on shots. Shakur doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't really take big risks, and he's like that's one of my major critiques of him. He doesn't load up on shots on purpose so he could be more defensively responsible. So you're not going to see the knockouts out of Shakur.
And there it is.
Or even, him hurting a whole lot of people like that.
And there it is. That's very well said, brother. So in his mind, boy, this is justified. When you look at his track record, right, and him not catching any hard leather from the names that he's faced up to this point, right? You consider that, well, yeah, in his mind, yeah, he is the baddest dude at 35.
Yeah.
Right?
But in reality, he isn't.
Well, yeah, of course, because you have to prove it. That's right. Dude, there's a reason why they fight the fights, right? You have to fight the fights. So here it is, moving on to number 3 of fact or fiction. This is going to be laughable to Gems, laughable to Frank, laughable to Anthony, but I'm going to pose this prognostication anyway, right? Here it is, and this is one for Ryan.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah.
Here it is, fact or fiction. On January 28th, Tszyu will surprisingly give Jermall Charlo some issues in the ring and take him the distance. Fact or fiction? I already know the answer to this.
Fiction.
Fact.
Fiction, man.
You think it's fact, Anthony? Okay, hold on. Before we get Ryan's explanation as to why he thinks it's fiction, Anthony, please say why you think it's fact.
Because when I look at Tszyu is pretty awkward. When you look at Tim, he's not a traditional, like, straight-up fighter. He's pretty awkward. He throws shots from weird angles, and I don't think Charlo can handle those weird angles and stuff like that. Oh,
shit. Okay. Ryan, you've got a lot of noise coming on your end, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So, well, when you look at Jermel's resume, right, and who he's faced, right, a virtual who's who at 54. Okay? And when you consider his last 2 fights were against a much more effective aggressor, a much more knowledgeable fighter, a guy with a deep amateur pedigree in forcing the action like Brian Castano, could you ask for a better preparation to Tszyu than Brian Castano? In my opinion, Anthony, Jermel's going to whoop that ass, brother, on January 28th. And I think Ryan is absolutely right in his assessment. Now, Ryan, please explain why you say fiction, brother.
Hey, you still hear the noise?
No. You're good, brother.
Okay, good. So that fight's not going 12. Whether it's Charlo or Tszyu that comes out on top, but I would say it's about 85% Charlo. Tszyu makes a lot of mistakes with his footwork. So when you get a fighter that can use lateral movement and set traps with lateral movement like Jermall Charlo, and Tszyu's cross-stepping towards him and lackadaisical with his footwork coming towards him, pressure fighting, he's going to catch an uppercut or a hook or something out. He's going to catch something nasty coming in. Charlo by knockout, man.
Yep. Look, when you consider also the full arsenal of punches that Jermall Charlo likes to implement within his fights, He's got it all, guys. Look, he can fight you from mid to long range. He can box you from mid to long range. He can fight you in the pocket. Okay, he's learned from two of the best trainers in boxing.
He's a complete
Ronnie Shields
fighter,
and
for sure.
Derek James. He's a complete fighter. Tszyu, I don't know what the hell his handlers are thinking. They're, in the immortal words of Teddy Atlas, they're throwing in Tszyu's going from the wading pool into the ocean. Look, that's the reality, brother.
Yeah.
Tszyu gonna get his ass whooped.
You know, but he's surprisingly not that heavy of a dog, though.
I'm
I
sorry,
thought it would be
Frank. Are you looking
I
at
thought
the
it would-
odds?
Yeah, I thought it would be more like 6-1, but it looks like it's 3-1 right now.
Wow, is
Well,
It's a lot closer. I'm thinking it would be 4 or 5 at best.
that sounds
But
beautiful.
you know what, brother? That sounds good to me.
So,
Merry Christmas, brother.
Hey, look. Oh, go ahead.
well, I have a question for all three of you guys. Actually, I was reading an article recently. This was on Forbes, and it was on another, like, one of these business sites, and they were interviewing I think I said it on another platform, but apparently WWE is trying to get into boxing again, and Stephanie's trying to get a hold of one of these big promoters like a Bob Arum or to
Yeah,
help
I read
them
that
with
as well.
promotion.
Yeah.
Well, what are your guys' opinions on that? Would you be okay with WWE trying to get into boxing again?
Okay,
Or do you think-
dude. You know what, brother? 2 words. Hell yes, I would love it if WWE got behind or got into boxing with their promotional team. That would be an advantage to every fighter in boxing. But here's the problem, and this is a problem with any new promoter breaking in to the brotherhood or for the fraternity of boxing. Who the hell is going to allow that? You think Bob Arum's going to allow that? Al Haymon? Eddie Hearn?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, man.
If
I mean,
they already
Ryan.
got something that works. They don't.
No,
they're not gonna need no help.
But they were saying no, Joe, they're not gonna start their own promotion company. They're gonna partner up with one of
If that's the case, Anthony, then I can see Top Rank completely embracing that because they already have with Tyson Fury. So I can see that,
Well,
and
what
you know
would
what? I
they-
can see that benefiting a heavyweight like Big Baby Anderson, right?
Oh yeah, to
Oh,
be featured on the show at WWE.
hell
yeah.
yes, I can see that very easily. I can even see that with Edgar Berlanga happening because God knows he fucking needs it. Pardon my French. Okay, hold on. I need to go back into the comment section, guys, real quick, please. If you can. Let me give a shout out to my brother Sid UK. Once again, always the voice of reason on this channel. Thank you for always supporting Warwick Radio, my friend. Thank you for hanging with us. He says, Tim Gazoo getting knocked out. Yep. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Toby Bartlett. Thank you for always supporting us, brother. And thank you for being an extended family member of Warwick Radio. Salute Joe, the panel in the chat. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. I also want to give a shout out to my brother James, the boxing source. And I love James, man. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe and support the boxing source. JR does great work there. He said Jermall Charlo is coming off his best performance of his career, in my opinion. Brother, that's not just your opinion. Dude, that's almost fact, right? Also want to give a shout out to my brother Khalid. Thank you for joining us, man. And he says Jermel is hilarious, man. Yes, if you tuned in on his phone conference, right? His internet conference with Tszyu. Yeah. Dude, this is going to be a great fight and a great promotion. In my opinion, the promotion is going to be much more entertaining than the fight, unless you like seeing a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah, no, and
There
Joe,
it is.
Joe, this
You
is
know
why
what?
I disagree with you and Ryan a little bit because the difference between I understand Castaño's amateur pedigree, but Castaño is
Yep.
a traditional upright fighter. He does not really have awkward.
Ooh, boy, you're look, Anthony. Even though you disagree with me and Ryan, okay, let me just say this: no one's perfect, brother. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. No one's perfect. You don't have to disagree with us, but in this situation, well, you're wrong about this. Okay, because Tszyu is as stiff as a board. He doesn't imply intelligent pressure, which was why he was floored by Terrell Gaucher. And he's going to need a lot more in going 12 rounds against someone like Jermall Charlo. He going to get his ass whooped, Anthony.
Look, Anthony, I would so part of me is on your side as well. I mean, even though it's just, to me, he has a very little chance to get Charlo, but Charlo does do something that's always alarmed me. Like, I don't think his ring IQ is too high. He always gets happy feet and ends up backing into corners and on the ropes, and so I think.
Well, Ryan, let me say this, Ryan, to support your statement right there. And this is something that I learned from Ronnie, right? Because Ronnie knows Jermel better than anybody. Mm-hmm. He says, you know what? His biggest disadvantage is also his biggest attribute as well. Some reason, it almost defies logic. The more emotional Jermel gets in a matchup, the better he ends up being in terms of, well, just being a bigger dog. But it's also a disadvantage.
Right.
His emotions seem to get the better of him. Like, he is a well-schooled, all-round fighter. Mm-hmm. Like, he can fight you from any range. And he's learned from two of the best trainers in boxing. He knows how to control range from mid to long range. He also knows how to be a dog and fight you in the pocket. But sometimes he could easily win a fight from mid to long range, but will elect to tangle with you in the pocket because of his emotions, right?
Yeah.
That seems to be a huge attribute. A huge disadvantage, rather.
So you guys think, honestly, the older Charlo, the Charlo that's in the bigger weight division has a better ring IQ?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking, do you guys think I'm not saying you said that. I'm asking, do you guys think,
you know what? I will say this. At one point in time, right, when Golden Boy was interested in signing Jermel, not Jermall, I thought that was a huge mistake. Okay. But that was several years ago, almost a decade ago. But nowadays, because of the seasoning, because of the different mentoring, because of the resume, because of the opponents he's faced, no, I can't say that. Jermel is a much more well-rounded fighter than Jermall.
Yeah, no, I'll say this. Jermall doesn't make the same mistake that I'm specifically talking about that Jermel makes, but what Ronnie Shields said to you, Joseph, that's a perfect explanation for it. I mean, so when you go off your emotions, you're not thinking. And most of the game is about thinking and being technically smart, and you know what I'm saying, and thinking your way through a boxing match. So if he gets away from that, and that helps him in one way and hurts him in another, that's a perfect explanation, because that's what it looks like.
Yep. And once again, Ronnie knows Jermel better than anybody, right? Yeah. And he look, they're still brothers, and he loves Jermel. They're still part of the family, both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, look. So I had a film study that was, of course, it was blocked by YouTube, Al Haymon Group. But,
Chingao.
So it was for Castaño Charlo 2, right? And it featured a lot of Derek James instruction in the corner as well, because Derek James just kept telling him, like, bro, use your jab, do not back up. Do not back up, just over and over and over again, every fucking round.
I will say this.
Went in there and backed up for no reason.
Yep. I will say this for Derek James. When you really listen, Derek James gives impeccable advice in the corner. He is one of the best trainers in boxing in terms of giving accurate corner advice.
I agree.
But Jermel, being the dog that he is,
the emotional guy.
Yeah, the emotional dog that he is. Yeah, chances are it's going to get in one ear and out the other. I will say this, though. The game plan, okay, that Ronnie told me before Jermall fought, oh my gosh, the name eludes me now. Who's the Russian that he fought that went life or death with Gennady Golovkin? What's his name?
Derevianchenko.
Derevyanchenko, yes. He told me the game plan. He said, okay, Jermall has to do this, and if he does this, this becomes a very easy fight. Guess what? Jermall followed it to a T, and it became a very seemingly easy fight. Okay, and this is from a guy who is one of the most decorated amateur fighters over the past 10 years. Right?
Yeah.
So say what you want about that, but as it applies to Tszyu versus Jermall Charlo, yeah, I like Jermall Charlo. He gonna whoop that ass. Tszyu is no idea what he's in for on January 28th. Okay, so my boy Frank, he's just sitting there, haven't heard from him in a while.
Oh,
so
I'm just
here
listening.
it is for you, brother. Fact
Okay.
or fiction, okay? And so I'm gonna step away and take a Veda test after this. But I'm going to give you this fact or fiction.
Okay.
And guys, please take your turn counterclockwise, or clockwise rather. Here it is, fact or fiction. Naoya Inoue will eventually lose to MJ Akhmadaliev and Stephen Fulton at 122 pounds. Fact or fiction, Frank? And please,
fiction.
guys, keep this going. Explain yourself, my brother.
I think he's the best fighter on the planet. I think he has destructive power, and yeah, I can't see anybody beating him right now. He's in his Manny Pacquiao shine. I think when Manny was running through people in divisions, this is what they were watching. I think we're watching something special. Granted, he started at 108. It'll be a tough task, but I really think he will fight and beat those guys if they ever end up fighting. But that's a big if. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think, honestly, he loses to Akhmadaliev, but he beats Stephen Fulton. Frank, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's going to lose to Akhmadaliev because I think Akhmadaliev has that. He has destructive power at his natural division at 122.
Mm-hmm.
Inoue is coming up. That's what scares me. He's coming up from 108 and stuff like that,
right?
From a smaller division, and I don't think his power will translate to 122.
Yeah, well, that's what's fascinating about it. I mean, that's what's going to make it special.
How about
you? See him have to do that.
Bro, I had to do some film studying, man. Pre-film study, I don't like giving fighters the division up. I don't care who it is. I don't even care if we was talking about, Floyd back in the mid 2000s. So I don't like giving fighters the division up. So for me, looking at it, I'd either favor the bigger fighter that's talented, or I'd say it's 50-50. But film study will reveal something different. So,
well, so I'm just going in. What was your response, Frank? Did you say fact or fiction?
I said that he will lose to them. You said lose, right? I said it was fiction. I believe anyway. I believe he's a special fighter. I think the names that were mentioned, that he's supposed to be in line at this division, he's a better fighter. Watching him, he's the most special fighter in talent.
You know what, brother? I'm going to resort to because I had this fact or fiction when Inoue beat and demolished Nonito Donaire, right? I posed this fact or fiction to Ronnie Shields, and he said this. He said, You know what? Hell no. He said, in my opinion, Naoya Inoue is the best pound-for-pound fighter in boxing until proven otherwise. I can't see anyone beating him at 118, 122, or maybe even 126. That's Ronnie Shields' words, not mine. And until proven otherwise, I'm going to side with my brother Ronnie. But I understand why Ryan is saying what he's saying, because traditionally, moving up in weight, even 4 pounds, is a huge difference in power, in size, in reach, in ability. Yeah, look, but until proven otherwise, Naoya Inoue is my number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing.
I don't see it.
I
agree
think
with
he's
Ryan.
a special talent.
His talent justifies what Ronnie is saying, but
not just his talent, brother.
Yeah, no, but facts and history prove otherwise, though. That a smaller fighter moving up and adjusting to a division takes a little bit. Joe,
I will say this: if you're talking historically, go tell that to Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, come on, Joe. That was cheap.
No. He said historically. I'm like, look, I understand that Manny Pacquiao is an anomaly, right?
Yes.
He is a freak of nature. But I'm asking you, is Naoya Inoue, is he a freak of nature as well?
Nah.
No, not
like
you don't think so? Why?
Not like Pacquiao. No. I mean, look, so you really think Inoue's power is going to carry to 140 or something like that?
No, I'm not saying that, but I will say that
was Pacquiao.
No, we're talking 122 though. I will say this though, at this juncture of his career, okay, Naoya Inoue is a much more complete fighter than Manny Pacquiao
100%.
Yep, that's my point. In my opinion, boy, Stephen Fulton, when you look at the hard pressure that someone as one-dimensional as Brandon Figueroa was laying on him, okay? You know what? He's going to have trouble against Naoya Inoue. In my opinion, that fight doesn't get made for that reason. In my opinion, Al Haymon tries to put up as many roadblocks as he can for keeping that fight being made, in my opinion. Just knowing the business of boxing. Yeah. He's like, what the fuck do I have to gain from that?
You think Akhmadaliev is more realistic?
In my opinion, that has very few chance of getting made as well. Because once again, he's a DAZN fighter, right?
All I'll say for Inoue is that, and this is probably a more casual take, but the man just jumps off the screen. It's just when you watch him, you understand. When you watched against Butler, he wasn't necessarily a roadblock, but when you see the combinations, when you hear the thud, the power, the snap, the speed, the kind of he started clowning, which is, I don't know if he really does that all the time, but he was clowning for the fans. He was adding a little more wrinkles to his game. Just watching him, he just jumps off the screen the same way that Manny Pacquiao was jumping off the screen.
Yeah, and this is where, for me, this is where I disagree with 126. I don't think he can handle Lara's power if Lara stays there at 126. I don't think he's going to be able to handle.
Dude. Look, dude.
I really don't.
Look, Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, Mauricio.
Shit.
Bronco.
Shit. Okay, hold on, dude. Look, when you're talking about, and Frank, with all due respect, brother, I love you, my friend, but please don't bring up the Paul Butler fight as an example for anything.
I'm just saying that
that was a hot piling steam lump of dog shit.
But just let me explain what I mean. It was like when Roy was fighting Garbage Men, on HBO Prime, but he was putting his hands behind his back. It just was that type of level of performance.
Okay, well, you know what? Roy Jones, in his one-sided opposition beatdown, okay, those guys showed more balls than Butler. Okay, I don't even mention that guy. And once again, I told everyone before this fight, Does everyone really need to see this fight? Do we really need to see him beat Paul Butler to understand that he's the best fighter at 118? No. Okay, and once again, please don't bring that up again.
Okay.
Paul Butler was a guy who was happy to be at the party. And he was just trying to survive. And even then he couldn't. Right? So, Ryan, I'm going to ask you, how hard is it to get a guy out of there, a world-class fighter who has his mind made up that he wants to wants to go the distance? How hard is it to get a world-class fighter out of there who has his mind made up that he wants to go 12 rounds?
Yeah, a guy with no heart? Nah, yeah, it would it's almost impossible.
That's right. So
I mean, shit.
That should speak volumes as to how Naoya Inoue got him out of there in 12.
Hold on for a second. Did somebody call Virgil Hill a garbage man?
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Did someone say that?
Yeah, you said Roy Jones put his hands behind his back and was knocking out garbage man. Virgil Hill was a garbage man?
No,
there was a guy he thought that was a garbage man.
No. That wasn't Virgil Hill though. That wasn't Virgil Hill.
I'm saying
he didn't do behind the back against Virgil Hill.
No, I'm saying at the time when he was clowning, when he would, he fought an actual garbage man. That was because he didn't want me mentioning Butler. And I said,
Virgil Hill was a legitimate champion. Yeah, that's not Virgil Hill. Yeah.
No, but in Ryan's actual prime heyday, he was fighting kind of lesser competition, and one was actually a garbage man, and he got a lot of criticism for that.
And for the same reason of Naoya Inoue, right? Who the hell wants to face this guy at 118 besides someone with balls as big as church bells like Nonito Donaire? Who wants to face this guy? Nobody. Okay, so hence the reason why he'll be moving up to 122.
Yeah, he'd have to.
He has no choice.
You don't think someone like? I have a question. You guys don't think El Gallo would move up to fight him?
Stop it! Stop it, Anthony! Stop it! Merry Christmas, brother. That's on your wish list. Oh, dude, Santa can't even bring that to you, brother. So hold on.
That's not out of the.
Hold on. My brother James says the same MJ that arguably lost to Daniel Roman. Anthony?
No. Oh, I'm saying El Gallo, Estrada, El Gallo.
Oh, Chingao. No, Chingao. Okay. So, James says also, Inoue is currently the number 3 in the Boxing Source pound for pound rankings. And once again, guys, if you're just joining the party, please go support my brother JR at the Boxing Source. He always does great work. He brings integrity back to boxing journalism. I love you, brother. Thank you for joining us. Check out. And he also says this: Fulton will make an effort to run through the Al Haymon roadblocks. Well, more power to him, brother, because that just doesn't happen. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'll say that. Hold on. Khalid says this, going back to the name that shall not be mentioned, Mr. Paul Butler. He says, I haven't seen a fighter come to lay down like that in a championship fight ever.
Jesus.
You know what, man? I would agree with that. When's the last time you've seen anything like that, Ryan?
Spence Garcia.
No, come on. Don't say that, dude.
You think Mikey Garcia wasn't trying to do shit past like the, 5th round, 6th round?
Oh, boy. I think
he was doing a lot of circling and just a lot of guarding. And
oh boy,
he just wasn't moving as fast as
Well, I think he underestimated Errol Spence Jr. In my opinion, that wasn't the case in this fight. We saw on Tuesday, right?
Oh yeah. No, I saw. So look, man, I'm glad I didn't wake up for the first 8 rounds.
Well, you know what, dude? Why don't you just give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it? Because I did.
I'm so glad.
Dude, I was like, I'm missing sleep for this?
Yeah.
Shit. So, my brother James says this also. Here's a question. Who has a better run, Inoue right now or Chocolatito from 2011 to 2016? That is a great question.
I mean, that's so subjective.
I say
Who knows? I
Chocolatito.
don't know.
I say chalk.
You know what? It's hard to argue with that, Anthony, because
Yeah.
Chocolatito was a pound for pound bad motherfucker from 2011 to 2016. That was stuff of Hall of Fame legend, and that's where he's headed. Look, even though he didn't get the decision this past Saturday, you know what? Man, he's Canastota bound. This guy is a master and worthy of everyone's praise. You know what? And I'm going to vote for him as soon as he's on that ballot in 4 or 5 years. Okay? Want to give a shout out to my brother IB. Thank you for joining us, sir. Merry Christmas to you. And once again, because I was screwed out of my money on my last event, I'm going to urge anyone, if they want to participate in the Joseph Hearn Christmas Fund, please feel generous and donate to Cash App $WAWR a week. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I love everyone involved with the promotion.
Hey, Joseph.
Yes,
I
sir.
got to go to sleep, man. Appreciate
All right,
you
my
for
friend.
having me
Well,
on,
hey,
fam.
thank you for joining us, Ryan. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Boxing Gems on
I'll see you
YouTube.
Saturday.
I will see you bright and early. Hey, man. Hey, and have that R&B ready for us, man. Come on now. Love you, brother. Have a great night and a Merry Christmas, my friend.
All right, everybody take it easy. Peace.
Peace. Hey, Joe, is one of your I have a question. Is one of your fiction the Virgil Stanionis fight?
Yes, and it's coming up, my friend. And so let's get back to that. Hold on. The Real Merc TV says, yes, War Week Radio is back. Yes, we are. Thank you, man, for hanging with us. And I apologize that I needed some much time away
Gotta
from
recharge sometimes.
everything with boxing. Thank you for saying that, Frank, because yes. And Brendan says, I'm glad the show is back on tonight. And guys, we will be with you until New Year's Eve. And it's not going to include James Gogi, not going to include Ronnie Shields or Rick Glazier, but it will be back. And I do have some surprises coming up in 2023. Some new blood. Dare I say, my dear friend Rolly Romero. Frank,
Hey.
What do you think about that, brother?
I love it. You know what? I'm a fan. Call me a fanboy.
I tell you
Wait,
what.
Rolly's your one of your new co-hosts?
Well, no. Well, kind of. Well, I will say this. I was pleasantly surprised when I shared the air with him for the Frank Gore fight, and he is not what you think. He's a very humble, good kid, and he is very insightful behind the mic. So it would be my pleasure if you were to join us in War Week Radio. And guys, if that's a New Year's resolution, it shall be done. Guys, he and Coach Bullet are both going to join me next year, right?
Awesome.
That's already in the works, and so that's going to happen. So if you guys look forward to that.
Rolly is not as like outgoing as you see him when he was going against Taken and stuff like that. He's very down to earth.
He is, and it was a pleasant surprise, and he's a very good, humble guy, and he's become my friend. Yes. And that was the brightest spot to come up this in this Frank Gore pay-per-view experience. Yes.
So he
So,
doesn't
yeah,
have that dumb job. You don't think he's this is an honest question. You know how most athletes are dumb jocks usually? Rolly's not like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Look, I will tell you this. All right. Rolly is not what he seems. He is a good, humble kid, and he is much more knowledgeable than he makes himself out to be. He likes to play the court jester, and he is far from it. He has been mentored extremely well, not only by his family and his parents, but also Coach Bullet, Coach Cromwell Gordon, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has been coached and mentored extremely well. So it would be my honor and my pleasure to feature him on this channel, and it's going to happen. So look forward to that in 2023, guys. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, right? And my brother Joseph Brown, welcome to the program, sir. He says Boxing Gems is legit. Yes, Ryan is a bad dude. Just like Tim Bradley says, Ryan from Boxing Gems is a bad dude. You can learn a lot from him. So I'm going to be there on Saturday calling the fights with him. So I hope you guys can tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I hope you guys can join us. So moving on to fact or fiction, here it is, number 5. I can't believe we're 90 minutes in and we're only on number 5. That's a good thing.
It's a lot
right?
to unpack. Yeah, it's always
Here
a
it
lot.
is. Big Frank, here it is. Fact or
Okay.
fiction.
Uh-huh.
Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis will KO Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds if they fight in 2023. Fact or fiction, my friend?
Oh man, this is one right at this moment. If I had to be absolutely honest, it's gonna be a fact.
Okay, which one or both?
Definitely Taylor and 50-50 Regis. I think that to me is fight of the year. I mean, I think that would be 2023. Aside from Tank Garcia, at a higher level would be Tszyu Regis. I mean, that's really the fight I want to see really bad for 23.
Okay, Anthony, you say fiction. Why?
Josh Taylor's gonna. By the time that fight even happens, I think Josh Taylor's already. He's gonna be gone to 147. I don't think that fight even happens, and I think Tszyu. It goes to unanimous decision, but Tszyu wins against Regis.
Really? Well, I tell you what, Anthony, I love your take, brother, and honestly, I will say this as just a person, right? As just a fan looking outside from, if I were just talking as a fan, I love Teofimo Lopez. In my opinion, this guy is great for the sport of boxing. In my opinion, though, from a business perspective, he gets his ass whooped by Regis Prograis. Okay? Because Regis, he's got the benefit, right? He's got the benefit of having the better trainer in his corner, and he's going to be much better prepared. Look, guys, whether you realize this or not, my friend Bobby Benton from Houston, Texas, is one of the more underrated trainers in boxing. This is a very intelligent, astute fight trainer. Prograis is so smart and so well-rounded. This is all, look, hold on. And just as I was saying this, my brother James, boy, he's saying it, this is the gospel. Prograis style is all wrong for Teofimo Lopez.
Guys, in your honest opinion, then Joseph and Frank, who's the better in that division? Who's the best style matchup for Tszyu? In your guys' honest opinion?
Look, okay, I will say this in my opinion, because this is where it's kind of a double-edged sword here, kind of a, in my opinion, I think Josh Taylor, okay, if Teofimo Lopez forces Josh Taylor to take the lead, which he never does, and when he did, he looked like dog shit against Jack Catterall, right? Okay, if he can force Josh Taylor to unwisely take the lead like he did against Jack Catterall, he can whoop his ass. Josh Taylor is a different animal when he's forced to take the lead. He's not an effective aggressor. He's a guy who's great in the pocket, and he's great against aggressive-minded opposition, but he's not comfortable taking the lead, and we all saw that against Jack Catterall. If Teofimo can do that, he can beat Josh Taylor for whatever title he has left. What is it, the IBF that he has?
My bet, I'm going to say this. For me, the best matchup in that division for Tszyu is Zepeda, Jose.
What?
Jose Zepeda.
John? Look, maybe, but Chon is a brilliant counterpuncher, okay? And the way Regis picked him apart, right? A very tough John Zepeda, he used an intelligent jab. He won the fight with his jab. Teofimo doesn't have that. Okay, so I stand corrected. Boxing Source says Josh Taylor still has a WBO title. Okay, that makes sense, right? But look, Chon Zepeda, that's a look, and that's the problem that matchmakers have from Top Rank. When you look at the opposition at 140, a very deep division, like, dude, who do you pair up Teofimo Lopez with that's going to make him look good?
That's the question.
Subriel Matias?
Hell no.
Antoine Russell?
Maybe.
Okay,
I like Antoine Russell,
I
but-
will say this. If I'm Teofimo Lopez, okay, if I'm Top Rank, seeing that Jose Ramirez is maybe, I mean, they're when you look at ticket sales, they're like neck and neck. Jose Ramirez is a good ticket seller, and his only loss is against Josh Taylor. Do you pit him in against Teofimo Lopez? Because in my opinion, that's the best style matchup that you can make for Teofimo. Jose Ramirez has one speed, and that's forward. In my opinion, that's the only fight that makes sense. But does Top Rank want to do that? I'm not so sure. And does his management, Rick Merrigan, want to do that? I'm not so sure. And look, my brother Khalid has the beat. He says Jose Ramirez is the only one who's stylistically made for Teo. That's right. He gets it. And he also says this. Teofimo needs a new coach if he wants to have a chance to beat Taylor or Regis. I think you're absolutely right. Look, and I think my brother Peter has the beat also. Nothing against Teofimo, but Regis can turn it on for all 12 rounds, and he's coming for blood in every fight. This is a well-conditioned, well-coached badass. And guys, he is the class at 140 until proven otherwise. I also think Peter has the beat here. Gary Antoine Russell at 40 beats Teofimo. I also think Subriel Matias beats him at 140.
Yeah, the
Right?
Subriel
This is-
Matias for me, that fight is disastrous for Teo.
So, dude, and Joseph Brown has the beat here. Thank you for sticking with us, Joseph. He says 140 has too many killers for Teo. He's in real trouble. In my opinion, I think that is spot on. But hey, guys, let the plot thicken. We'll be back, and
It'll
we'll
be
talking.
interesting.
It'll be interesting because, once again, don't count out Teofimo Lopez. He's a special talent. But we'll see. Right now, oh, boy, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see where Top Rank navigates his career from this point forward, right? That's it. So let's move on. Number 6. Are you ready, brother?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Fact or fiction? Eddie Hearn is correct when he states Spence versus Crawford will not happen in 2023 unless Bud signs an advisory deal with Al Haymon. End quote. What say you, Frank? Fact or fiction?
That would have to be fact.
Oh.
I can't.
You know what? So here's a better question. What are the chances of that actually happening?
Slim and none.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you an exact 0.002%.
Oh, shit. You know, I don't even think it's 0.002%, brother. I think it's
boy. What's this
dude,
thing?
I think
when
it's
pigs fly.
Yep, I think there's no chance in Hades that happens, guys. So once again, you took a guy like Terrence Crawford, who is coming off of a decent and hefty inflated payday from generating no pay-per-view buys and getting a knockout in the 6th against, a good but not an elite 147-pound opponent. What are the chances of him getting a payday like that and signing an advisory deal for, similar money, maybe even less, and fighting a much better opponent in Errol Spence Jr. What are the chances of that actually happening?
That it just wouldn't make sense, considering everything we've heard and everybody arguing, and then him, his own boss. Why would he?
Yeah, that's a big problem, right? That's a big problem. So here's what Eddie Hearn had to say about it, right? He said this, quote, how on earth did they get 18,000? Well, it's technically 14,000, but he goes, how on earth did they get 18,000 people in the CHI Health Center arena in Omaha, Nebraska, when a lot of people didn't even know about it? It shows you how big Crawford is in Omaha, Nebraska. Amazing. Literally no one was talking about that fight outside of the hardcore fans. What I saw was a superstar, but he's been promoted so poorly over the years for the ability that he has. The problem is you can't generate much of a gate in Omaha. So Top Rank would take him out to bigger cities and try and generate more dollars, and it actually didn't work. What you should do is let people see that many people in the arena and let them feel the atmosphere, because the perception is that he's a superstar. He should be a superstar right now because he's an unbelievable fighter. Possibly pound for pound number one. What is it? A 10-fight knockout string or something like that? So you're in a bit of a catch-22. Well, you need to find opponents that actually care about legacy over money, and that's very rare in boxing these days. The reality is that Al Haymon doesn't want to put PBC fighter A could beat them, or B, he doesn't have control of. Right now, Terrence isn't a PBC fighter, and Al's not silly. He knows he's boxing. He probably is thinking, this is a 50-50 fight for Terrence, is the favorite. I don't have futures on Terrence Crawford. I can't keep him in with PBC. Hence, the fight will not happen unless he has control over Terrence Crawford. End quote. Look, say what you want about Eddie Hearn, right? But he understands the business of boxing. I've said this the whole time. Guys, this deal, in my opinion, Al Haymon should have never strung this out as long as he did. Because in my opinion, as soon as Terrence Crawford said, you know what? No, I'm not giving you options on my next two fights. And two, I want $22 million. Soon as he said that, Al Haymon should have said, well, you know what? Nice talking to you. Go kick rocks. Because this deal isn't getting made. Okay? So in my opinion, okay, and Frank, in your opinion, has anything really changed since then?
No, didn't it get worse when they were tweeting back and forth? And then just spinning, it seems like burning bridges. I mean, maybe it's not. I'm reading into
so with
much.
all of the bullshit that Terrence Crawford was saying that PBC side and Al Haymon is completely to blame for this fight falling apart, do you think that enhanced the probability of this fight being made for 2023?
Oh yeah, not for Crawford fans it does, but no, obviously not. I don't think you badmouth somebody and expect it to get better.
Yep. Look, guys. I spelled it out for you. You can't expect to, one, if you're not a big ticket seller outside of Omaha, Nebraska, you can't, one, expect to get a huge money guarantee if you're not giving your promoter options on your next several fights. Two, you can't demand a huge guarantee. Okay? And three, the promoter is the one who's furnishing the TV date. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. Does Crawford have any dates on Showtime?
Not that I know of.
Where the hell is he going to get the TV date then if it isn't for Al Haymon and Errol Spence? Al Haymon is the one who's furnishing the opponent. Why wouldn't you want to play ball with him? Is there anyone outside of BLK Prime who is champing at the bit to work with Terrence Crawford?
I don't think so.
Hell no. Anthony's right. So, guys, in my opinion, once again, this fight is deader than dead. And Joseph Brown has the beat. I'm over it. Stanionis versus Virgil. Let's go. Yes, guys. So we'll be looking forward to that on Fact or Fiction. Next one, number 7. Big Frank, are you ready?
Sure.
Here comes Canelo Alvarez will take on John Ryder in May and Dmitry Bivol in September, leaving the winner of Plant versus Benavidez to face David Morrell Jr. in 2023. Fact or fiction?
I sure hope it's fact. That sounds like the best plan of them all.
Fiction.
Oh, boy. Oh, let's hear it, Anthony. Come on, brother.
I think what's going to happen is I think Benavidez wins the KO Plant fight, then he becomes a mandatory for Canelo, to be honest. I don't think the promoter for Morrell is going to even allow him to fight Benavidez right now. That's the issue. I know he's a champion, but let's be honest. I don't think is it Sampson? David Sampson, that's his promoter?
Yeah. Samson Lukowitz is Dave Benavidez's promoter. Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Morrell, David Morrell.
No. Morrell is Louis Takubas. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I think the Cubis and his manager want that to be the biggest money fight as possible instead of right away. They want probably I bet you they want Benavidez to fight Canelo, see if he beats Canelo, then they fight each other in 2024.
2024. We're talking about 2023, brother. Look, honestly,
I don't think the fight happens. I do not think that plan you're talking about is going to happen. I think it's more. I think Plant versus Benavidez is to fight Canelo, and I really don't believe Canelo wants to fight.
Okay, well, look, man. Look, honestly, when we've already mapped out the path of progress, if you want to call it that, for Canelo Alvarez in 2023, and this is why I stated this before, right? Repeat this. Canelo Alvarez will take on John Ryder in May and Dmitry Bivol in September. Okay, his path of progress is already mapped out in accordance with his relationship with Eddie Hearn and DAZN, right? He's happy to do it. He's happy to do it. And when you look at this path of progress, as well as his ability to sell tickets, he's the biggest ticket seller in North America at this time. He's the only one who is pushing pay-per-view sales to the mainstream and casual audience. In my opinion, and everyone knows this, around Canelo. Okay, it's the golden rule. Hugh has the gold, makes the rules. Canelo has the gold. He's going to fight whoever the fuck he wants, and everyone else has to deal with it. Okay? And his fans will tune in regardless of who he fights because he's built that kind of reputation. He's built that kind of stature, and he deserves it. So, in my opinion, that leaves everyone else out to dry at PBC. So, the winner of Plant Benavidez, what do they do? In my opinion, the best fight that they could make would be David Morrell Jr., but do they take that fight?
No.
Why not?
I think it's, like I said, it's more Lukowitz than the Cubis. I think Lukowitz doesn't want that fight because he wants it to be a bigger fight, a bit more bigger money fight and stuff like that. But
let me ask you then. How are you going to make that fight bigger if they don't fucking fight each other? Because they're not ticket sellers. Promotions 101, Anthony. Okay? If you're not ticket sellers, you have no choice but to stick your fighters. If Promotions 101, if you're a promoter and you don't have ticket sellers, you have no choice but to stick them in tough to try and increase their market value.
Mm-hmm.
In my
And
opinion.
Benavidez is not a ticket seller, you think?
Fuck no. Neither is Plant. Dude, Plant couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night. That's the truth. David Morrell
I've
Jr.
always
is
assumed. The reason why I thought Benavidez was a ticket seller because of the way he fights. I thought that type of style sells tickets.
Well, no, it just means you have that kind of potential.
Oh,
But
okay,
unless
okay.
you fight frequently, and unless you're in the public eye and on a consistent basis, no, your market value isn't going to grow. This has everything to do with activity, right? And I'm sorry, but Plant, Benavidez, they're not active fighters. Okay, they have to be. And I'll tell you what, them facing each other is a step in the right direction. Kudos to everyone involved for putting this together, and it's going to be a great fight. Okay? And in my
Benavidez is
opinion,
dominating that fight.
we'll have to wait and see. In my opinion, I think it's a 50-50 fight. That's a great fight.
No, the reason why I say what worries he still has a gas tank issue, and I think that pressure style that Benavidez has is going to cause him serious issues. Look what happened with Canelo. That's why I'm saying I don't think he has a chance. I don't think Plant has a chance unless he improved his gas tank in the last fight. I don't think he has a chance with the.
Why would you say he has gas tank issues?
He tired out against Canelo.
I didn't see that. In my opinion, he got caught against Canelo because he forgot to lean back. Look, fundamentally, if you're fighting behind the Philly shell, okay, or a shoulder roll defensive posture, if you forget to lean back or bend your waist at a 45-degree angle, you're going to be susceptible to the overhand right. So he caught the left uppercut and the overhand right, got clipped. That was it. But what round was that in, Anthony?
I think that was in the 11th round.
Exactly. So how is that a gas tank issue?
No. The reason why I'm saying gas tank is because he was breathing hard. It looked like he was breathing hard. Even though he got caught, it looked like he was tiring out with the pressure that Canelo was putting on him.
Well, you know what? That maybe, you know what? That may have been a case of him being in his biggest event in his career, because that happens. If you're not relaxed, you're not loose, yeah, you're going to fatigue a lot more easily, right? So in my opinion, this is a great fight and it needed to happen. Credit to everyone involved for putting together Plant versus Benavidez.
Definitely.
And I will say this, some very knowledgeable friends of mine believe that Plant has the edge here. Let me go to James from Boxing Source. He says Plant wins. That's going to be interesting. Because he seems to be the more defensively responsive. I will say this. Okay, if Plant cannot earn the respect of David Benavidez, if he can't hurt him, it's going to be very difficult for Plant to win this fight. But under the tutelage of Stephen Breadman Edwards, he seems to be punching better. He seems to be punching with more confidence and authority. Once again, this is the first time he's ever trained with a world-class trainer. Guys, don't underestimate Caleb Plant in this fight.
Sweet hands.
In my opinion, Sweet Hands has become Strong Hands. He is punching harder with more authority. In my opinion, this is a genuine 50-50 fight. Guys,
Definitely.
circle this on your calendar when it comes up in March. Look for this. This is a great fight and a win-win for everyone involved. Let's go back to Joseph Brown. He says this: Morrell's starting to build a nice following in Minneapolis. These dudes need to fight. It's time. Yes. What are you waiting for?
Well, that's
What
why
are
I
you
said I
waiting
think that's
for?
the best thing that could happen.
Come on now. Yes, Frank, you have the beat, brother. Anthony, I love it, and thank you for joining us. And you know what? I can't wait to see how all this unfolds. We're all winners in this scenario, guys. Let's look forward to it in 2023, as we're going to look forward to Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk coming about the same time. This is great. Here's number 8, guys. Fact or fiction. Frank, you ready?
Ready when you are.
Oh, boy. Adrian Broner versus Ivan Redcatch on BLK Prime will produce Clarissa Shields type numbers on February 18th. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. It'll probably do worse.
Holy shit. I don't think you can do worse than 5,000 pay-per-views, brother.
Well,
but we'll see.
There could be 2. You know, it could be 999.
That's a fiction. I think I'm gonna give you a ridiculous prediction. They sell 900 reviews.
Oh my gosh! You know what, brother?
We're in the piracy age too.
Oh my gosh! You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, dude. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Boxing Source. Hold on. Boxing Source poses this question: Fury Usyk, March 18th or March 25th? I'm going to say March 11th because Bob Arum is no dummy, James. March Madness starts on March 14th and ends April 3rd. What does that tell you, James? That tells me that Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk is happening during the day in the Middle East on March 11th. Circle it on your calendar. No promoter, especially one as savvy as Bob Arum, is dumb enough to go head-to-head with NCAA basketball March Madness. Okay? So, once again, that's going to be coming up on Fact or Fiction. I think that's number 10, guys. So, stay tuned for that. So, Peter Von Ark says, hold on. He says, I'm still an AB fan. I'm hoping he does really well. Well, people in hell are hoping for ice water, and that's just not going to happen. Okay? Look. Personally, I love AB. Like, people don't know the kind of guy he really is. Okay? My dealings with Adrian Broner, there are two versions of AB, I should say. Okay? There's About Billions, and then there's Adrian Broner. About Billions is a horse's ass. Okay? Mike Stafford, everyone around him knows this. But Adrian Broner, the humble, good guy, yeah, he's a great guy. And he's very generous. And he doesn't deserve the kind of shit that he usually gets. But he brings it on himself because he's got that damn alter ego. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm a fan of Adrian Broner. I'm not a fan of AB. That's what I'll say about that.
Hey,
but look, guys, is anyone really thinking that Adrian Broner versus Ivan Redcatch is going to do anything for BLK Prime but further push them out of the boxing business?
Jeez, wasn't that the guy that gave up on a Triller?
Yes!
He had a bad fight.
Dude, he took a dive. He took a dive and went out on a stretcher against Regis Prograis.
Yeah. How embarrassing.
Dude, he's a disgrace. Look, and once again, far be it from me to cast aspersions to anyone who's gallant enough and brave enough to step in the squared circle. But honestly, that was laughable. That was disgraceful. Honestly, you don't deserve an assignment like this. But if you're trying to pair Adrian Broner up with someone at 147 or 54, who do you put him in with? Other than another joke. In steps basically Ivan Redcatch.
What?
Oh,
this is my
boxing
question.
is
What
great.
the hell? Ivan Redcatch never had this issue when he was younger. He didn't
Well, no,
take a
fuck
dive.
no,
like
man.
that.
Dude, he was a hungry young fighter at 35. He was a bad dude as a prospect moving up. Somewhere along the way, though, he made some money and lost sight of the brass ring. Now he's become a colorful haired joke of his once promising persona. Right? That's it. Ivan Redcatch is a perfect opponent for Adrian Broner, just not on pay-per-view. How much are they going to charge for this? $2?
Yeah. The price of a slushy, $2.99.
Shit,
A big gulp.
dude, I'd rather buy a McRib supersized value.
There
meal.
you go.
Come on, man. This is terrible.
They're going to charge 99 cents.
And honestly, I think that's too much.
No, the cable will eat it up, or however the pay, those payment systems will eat that up.
Shit. Honestly, guys, I don't know what the hell BLK Prime was thinking when they signed Adrian Broner. He's a shot fighter.
And there's a chance it doesn't happen. I mean, I could see it just not happening. Something's gonna happen, and it's never gonna materialize.
What weight is it gonna be at? Cruiserweight? So anyway, the next one, guys, I don't want to spend any more time because I like Adrian Broner. It's just AB I don't like. That's it. So number 9, here we go. Montes Stanionis. Anthony, is this for you, brother? Montes Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. for the WBA regular title at 147 pounds will prove to be a strong Fight of the Year candidate for 2023. Fact or fiction?
Hell to the yes, fact.
Who wins, Anthony?
It's a 50-50 fight, but I'm leaning towards Verge because I'm a Virgil fan.
So is that the only reason why? You just speaking with your gut?
I'm speaking with my heart.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that, Anthony. More power to you, my friend. That's a great fight. And you know what? This is a true 50-50 fight. In my opinion, credit to both guys and both promoters for putting their guys on the line. This is a great matchup. Chingao. Okay, Peter says this, all right? He says, Virgil hits way too damn hard, but you got to find your mark for it to be effective, okay? Frank?
Sir?
Who wins, my friend?
I'm going to have to go with Virgil Ortiz. I think that's why Oscar pulled the trigger, won it.
Young bull, the young bull.
Because he believes in them.
Yep.
I'm saying the young bull has more gas left in the tank than Stanionis.
Look, man.
To be honest.
Montes Stanionis is no joke. In fact, and I said this on James's show on the Boxing Source, the winner of this fight is going to be the winner of the jab contest within the fight. Whoever has the most dominant and most intelligent jab is going to win this fight. A la Andre Ward versus Mikkel Kessler. Whoever can take that primary weapon away is going to win this fight and set up the most compelling, consequential shots. In my opinion, this is one of the best matchups that you could possibly make in boxing, guys. This is more to look forward to in 2023. This is a great fight. Here's where boxing got it right. Thank you to the WBA. Thank you to Golden Boy. Thank you to TMB. Or I'm sorry, Tom Brown Promotions, right? So here's to you guys. Here's a drink on you guys. Sweet bitch on everyone involved. Thank you for making this fight for all of us.
Who do you have
starving
Joe, you
fight fans?
Who do you have winning the fight, Virgil or Stanionis?
Until proven otherwise, I have to go with the fucking killer. The guy who's 19-0 with 19 knockouts, that's Virgil Ortiz. Until proven otherwise, you have to show me that you can beat Virgil Ortiz. This guy is a destroyer, and he's a very intelligent Terminator. This is a guy who sets his shots up, right?
That
very
indeed.
intelligently. And when he gets hurt, a la Igas Calvillasquez, he can stay composed, stay relaxed, and go on to beat your ass. In my opinion, you have to prove to me that you can be Virgil Ortiz, but guys, I'm a believer in Stanionis. Okay, he used to train with Ronnie Shields. I saw him in the gym. This is a bad motherfucker. Guys, circle your calendar on this one when it gets announced, because this is a fight that we live to watch. These are the fights that makes boxing what we love about it. Hold on, guys. This is right. This is what is his name? This is Ricardo Torres versus Miguel Cotto.
Oh man, classic.
Guys,
yep.
That's what this is. Okay. So once again, buckle up, get your popcorn ready. This is what we love about boxing, and I will drink to that. Here's to some hard leather being thrown on that day. Guys, stay tuned. Oh, this is what we love about the sport. God bless everyone involved for making this fight. We're all winners. Down the hatch, guys. Some sweet amber.
Hey, Frank.
Yo.
Well, when it comes to this, the fight we're just talking about, the Virgil Stanionis fight, what is one weakness that you see with Stanionis that Virgil really can take advantage of? Like, really that you saw when he fought the guy he beat for the title?
The Stanionis?
Yes.
When he fought Butayev?
Against Butayev. What weakness that you see with him that Virgil can take advantage of and stuff like that?
What I can see Virgil doing? Well, I mean, Virgil's gonna be Virgil. He's gonna go to the body. Stanionis, what I've seen is that he can be stationary.
Got to get in range. Look, man. With that jab, that's why I'm saying the winner of the jab contest will win this fight, because you have to get in range. Look, aside from your footwork, your jab is the primary weapon and your first line of defense. I can't imagine anyone getting the better of the jab contest with either one of these guys. This is what makes this fight so intriguing. This is a brilliant style matchup and one of the best fights that you could possibly make in boxing in any division. And honestly, dude, Anthony, honestly, I'm with Real Merc here. He says this is too tough to call. Look, if I have to give an edge, it's for my brother Virgil Ortiz. But you know what, dude? This is like a hair dividing this fight, this matchup. In my opinion,
was the Torres versus Cotto fight a 50-50 fight when it first was announced, or did people think?
No. See, Miguel Cotto was the favorite, but he was supposed to fight someone else. Ricardo Torres was brought in on 2 weeks' notice. And Miguel Cotto, now, once again, this is a story I'm going to tell you with Bruce Trampler. My friend Bruce, Hall of Famer, he said, you know what, man? In all of my years, I think Miguel Cotto, when he was under Top Rank, was my favorite fighter. Okay? While under Top Rank. Because he never turned down an assignment. He made his bones off of just taking whatever we gave him and him whooping ass. So when you look at that fight, this is a guy that he wasn't really aware of. Like, this was a guy from Colombia, right? A guy who most people in America didn't know about, but he was a two-fisted, heavy-handed badass. And he was a guy that was going to be aggressive and give you all you could handle. This was one of the few fighters in Miguel Cotto's career up to this point that forced him on his back foot. So I'm telling you this. Are we going to see that kind of engagement? Are we going to see that kind of, different look from either fighter? Because I can't imagine either fighter really taking a back step in this situation. This is what makes it so intriguing. And when Miguel Cotto got up off the canvas to win this fight, yeah, that cemented my mindset. Okay, my mind was made up when I saw that. And I said, you know what? Miguel Cotto's for real, man. You know, not only did he beat a former Olympian in Muhammad Akhmadaliev, not only did he beat Randall Bailey, but now he whooped the shit out of and knocked out Ricardo Torres. You know what? He's ready. He's ready for anyone. And that's what I'm saying here with this fight. The winner of this fight, you could pencil him in against anyone at 47. He'll be ready for anyone at 47, including Crawford, including Spence, including Jaron Ennis. The winner of this fight will be ready for anybody.
You know the
That's
funny
what I'm
part?
saying.
You're talking about the jab. You guys are talking about the jab.
Yep.
With Virgil and Stanionis. People
Yep.
say, a lot of people say that Boots has the best jab in that division.
I don't see it. But hold on. Let's go to Snoop C. Welcome to the party, my brother. Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas to you, sir. He says, I'm late to the party, Mr. Aaron. Intriguing fight this weekend. I'm sure you're going for the fighter training out of Texas. It's going to be an exciting matchup in the ring. Look. I will say this. It's a great fight, and we'll go over that in a second. But am I favoring the fighter coming out of Texas, training in Texas? No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why in a second. Thank you for joining us, Soup C. God bless you, brother. Thank you for always supporting War Week Radio. Number 10. Are we ready to move on, guys?
Let's do it.
Number 10, final one of the evening. Devin Haney will not get the March date that he's currently looking for from Top Rank and will elect to vacate his 135-pound titles and move up for a Teofimo Lopez fight in 140 instead. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to have to say fact. That's the way it's looking.
Brother, that's a reason why I wrote it that way. So why do you think it's fact?
Well, he's already putting out messages that he's not getting what he wants. So
Why? Well, okay, and what did I say several months ago?
yeah, and I had to say that. I said, yo, I heard it first.
Yep. I told you, man. Look,
You said it, man. You called
he still thinks because he's accomplished all of this at 35 that he's the obvious A side and people should be bending over backwards to give him what he wants. It doesn't work like that. It's life in the big city, brother. You're not a big ticket seller. No one knows outside of the diehard community who the fuck you are. Okay? So if the network says this is the only date we have, we don't want to go head-to-head with
ESPN.
March Madness,
Mhm.
right? You either take a fight in April or you take a fight in May, preferably in May. We like May. Here's the date that we have to offer. Devin Haney saying, oh, no, we don't like that. Well, who the fuck are you, dude? Who the fuck are you? That's life in the big city. You get what, you know what? If we want to throw you a fucking bone, you
Yeah.
fucking take it. Otherwise,
That's like
You know
telling
what?
Scorsese, hey, I don't like this line.
no
You need-
shit. Dude, who the fuck are you, Devin Haney?
I'm
Who
going
the
to say
fuck
this.
are
You
you?
get what you deserve. You don't get what you negotiate.
No, you get what's coming to you. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it. You get what's coming to you. If you're not a big ticket seller, even though you beat your chest like you've done something in the sport, okay? And look, I'm not here to diminish his accomplishments in the sport, beating George Kambosos and getting all of the major titles in one fell swoop, okay? Congratulations. You didn't have to beat 4 champions. You just beat one guy. Congratulations. You were in this scenario and you took advantage of it. Great. Does that make you a big ticket seller? No. Does that make you a big ratings draw? No. So if the network wants to tell you, hey, this is the date we have for you, Oh, I don't like it, man. They want to weight drain us. You know what? That has nothing to do with it. If that's your problem, okay, well then that's your problem. But that has nothing to do with the network. And if you think the network is thinking anything of that nature, you're stupid. Okay? They're thinking of what date is available. That's it. Okay? Learn the business, understand it, and abide by that. Okay? And if you think the world is in accordance with the bubble inside Devin Haney's life, well, you've got a lot to learn within the business of boxing. Okay, well, yeah. So Joseph Brown says this, and I know this is in jest because he knows better, right? Joseph Brown says this. So, Joseph, you telling us that Bill Haney and Devin Haney aren't calling the shots? I thought they were bosses. Yeah. Okay. So if they're signed with Top Rank and ESPN is the one furnishing the TV dates, in what world does Bill Haney and Devin Haney, in what world are they the bosses?
Yeah, when you lay things out in that manner, it's easy to understand. You know, it's easy to go off. Well, that's why we're here now, aren't we? Yeah, but it's just so easy to go off emotion, and you hear a guy say that, and you go, "Oh my God! Well, how dare does fucking Bob Arum do that? And how dare does ESPN treat him like that?" It's like, okay, let's
guys,
let's take a
look.
I'll
say this: that's life in the big city, right? That's life in the big city. In any entertainment field, you can be as talented as you think you are, right? But if you can't sell tickets, right? You take what anyone wants to give you. And Devin and Bill Haney, well, you better open up your mouth and smile, because you had better, look, there's a reason why Devin and Bill Haney are in this situation, because they were willing to take what they considered short money and a meager opportunity just to get the titles. What did they think? Something was going to miraculously change after getting this title from someone in Australia? They think they were going to miraculously turn into big ticket sellers in the States? Big ratings draws in the States? Did they think that was going to change? Shit. Brother, sorry, man. It doesn't matter how many podcasts you go on, how much shit you talk. That doesn't change your market value, right? So, hey,
those are the
be humble, learn to love it, and take one for the team. Okay, you take what ESPN wants to give you, or you fucking move on. Take your pick.
Take one for the team. Do it for the fans.
That's it. And if ESPN is offering you a date in April or May, you fucking take it, because you have no leverage. Who the fuck are you? Look at ESPN, okay? The flagship, the sports giant in America, and look at Devin Haney.
And don't forget.
Yeah, I think ESPN will be okay without Devin Haney.
Since I'm going to bring this up, don't forget, Bob Iger runs ESPN. You really think he's going to make that dumbass decision, giving him the power to choose where he's going to...
Yeah, look, man. Look, Devin Haney has no power. Okay, he's got nothing. Okay, he may think he has something with all the titles at 35. What does that mean commercially? What does that mean in accordance with them? What does that mean in accordance with ESPN's mainstream and casual audience? What does that mean exactly?
They could give a shit.
Yeah. They couldn't care less, guys. So either you want to be a part of the action or you don't.
What? They don't. What the alphabet? It's the alphabet soup.
Okay, so let me put things in perspective. If you vacate the titles and move up to 140, who's the A side here? Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney?
Teo, I believe.
That I rest my case. So Devin, get on the stick, brother, and start working out. Start losing that weight.
Damn. Dose of reality.
That's the dose of reality, brother. That's it. Come on now. Look, regardless of what you guys think, regardless of what side of the fence you may be on, okay, we don't think that way. On War Week Radio, we're going to give it to you straight in accordance with the business of boxing.
Yeah,
The
and
business
I'm
of
glad.
the business of boxing is absolute. We don't have any favorites on this channel. We respect all fighters.
And I'm
But we're
glad
going to tell you the reality of it. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad you're given the dose of reality and painting that picture, because the spin is that Bob Aaron's trying to set him up, or Loma's wants to push it back, or there's a lot of spin that's going on. So I'm glad you paint the reality. You take off the beer goggles for us fans.
There it is. There it is. Look, man. Look, and yeah, you have a choice, right? You have a choice. And once again, Tyson Fury versus Usyk more than likely is going to fall on March 11th, right? Before March Madness. Okay? That's a much bigger fight, whether you like it or not. That's a much better fight than Haney versus Lomachenko. Now, Juice brings up a very interesting point. But once again, does ESPN give a shit about this? ESPN will make the fight before Ramadan. Well, that Ramadan starts on March 22nd next year. For the undisputed champ, Dubai offered to pay Loma Haney, so they're in demand. Where did you get that?
Yeah.
Is anyone in the Middle East willing to pay a lot of money for Lomachenko versus Haney?
I think
that's
people
news
just
to me, brother.
I really think people just make things up.
Look. Top Rank is either saying, they're saying that before the 22nd is an impossibility. Okay? So get ready for the fight in May. We're going to give you enough time after Ramadan ends, okay, to try and prepare for this fight. Otherwise, best of luck to you. They don't give a shit about that. They're respectful of it. But look, what determines what date you fight on is entirely up to the network, not the fighter. Okay? In my opinion, going back to Fact or Fiction, and I'm going to restate this, it says Fact or Fiction, Devin Haney will not get the March date he's currently looking for from Top Rank and will elect to vacate his 135-pound titles and move up for a Teofimo Lopez fight in 140 instead. In my opinion, that's what happens, guys. That's what happens.
I mean, it's not a bad thing either. I mean, I don't know. I'll take it.
Hell no, that's a great fight that everyone's wanted to see for the past 2 years. Yeah. That's great. Oh, hold on. Late to the party. We're about to sign off, but my brother G Funky, greetings to you, my friend. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for joining us. Better late than never. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to G Funky Boxing. He always does great work. Very knowledgeable gentleman. And I hope he has a ton of family and a ton of good tidings this holiday season. Stoopsy says, you know what? I don't see Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez fight happening without a title on the line. Well, good luck getting one at 140. Also, if Haney moves up to 140, he owed Top Rank 2 fights. Yes, that's absolutely accurate, actually. He'll probably fight Loma at 135. Well, then he had better be ready to suck it up for May. Because once again, March Madness starts on March 14th, ends April 3rd. You're not getting a fight date from ESPN in that time, right? And it's not happening on March 11th because that date is already designated for Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk during the day. So where's that fight going to end up? During Ramadan? No. Guys, look for that fight happening in March if it happens at all. If not, look for Devin Haney to fight Teofimo Lopez on ESPN sometime next year in the summertime at 140 for no title. And that's it. There it is, Frank. We're at the end of the line. We're almost 2.5 hours in, brother. How do you like that?
It's been a ride, been a journey.
I tell you what, man, I've got one more shot of Sweet Amber to do with all of you guys. And once again, if any of you guys would like to, contribute to the Hearn Christmas Fund, because I was screwed out of my money on this last promotion, and I'm not going to go into it any further, but I will say that if anyone would like to contribute, please go to Cash App, $WAWR Week, right? There you go. But Frank, any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
No, just like I said, hopeful, it's always a landmine with these issues. People have their feelings and emotions for their fighter. And, I just like to break it down. Like you said, give them a dose of reality, but there's always hope. That's it. It's,
wait a minute. Hope for our beloved boxing or hope for the fans?
All the above. I mean, if we actually get some of these fights,
you know what, brother? I will say this. I wish, and that's my Christmas wish, is that there's hope for the fans. Because honestly, after, and this is one of the reasons why I did have to take a break and step back. Because the Twitterverse in boxing really disheartened me from the future of the sport.
It's a cesspool.
Oh boy, it's a cesspool of ignorance at times. Man.
I wallow in it. I will not pretend to be above anything or anybody.
Brother, you love being the hold on, dare I say
it.
Okay, just to piggyback off of Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Michael Hall from Breakfast Club, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, from his words on the Breakfast Club, or no, on 16 Candles, he said, "Yeah, I'm kind of king of the dipshits." I think you enjoy being king of the dipshits on Twitter, brother.
Oh,
that's what
man.
I think.
It's entertainment. At the end of the day, it's entertainment.
I think you love being king of the dipshits on Twitters.
Yeah, I get sucked into it, man. It's like I said, it's a landmine.
I tell you what, man. Frank, I love you, man. You're a very knowledgeable and insightful guy, and you're very humble. So most people, because of your humility, don't understand how experienced and how knowledgeable you are. Okay, but there's a reason why I frequently invite you on this program, because you're very intelligent, you're very insightful, you're very knowledgeable, and I love chopping it up with you, brother. So here's to you, Big Frank.
Yes,
shot 30 for you, brother.
Likewise.
God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. And yeah, man, I mean, every time I'm on your show, I'm the one that learns. I keep open mind and I learn. I wallow in the mud from time to time, but I come to get cleaned in the Hearn, the holy ark, the holy water that is WAWR Week Radio.
I thank you so much for saying that, brother. And once again, we've really enjoyed a wonderful 2022. And you know what? If you guys can join me, like I said, I'm going to be chopping it up with Ryan on Boxing Gems on Saturday night, talking about Frank Martin versus Michelle Ali Rivera. And we'll go into more specific reasons why I think Michelle Rivera should have the advantage in this fight. Okay? Because he's a guy who, once again, is not a lot like Guillermo Rigondeaux, a lot like Erislandy Lara. He's not going to veer from the fight plan. He's not going to feel pressured into forcing the action. He doesn't mind being booed. Okay? Frank Martin, on the other hand, he's going to feel that pressure, and the onus and pressure on him, it's going to be on him to force the action of the fight. That's a severe disadvantage in this matchup. Guys, look at it to play out that way. And I know he ended up getting the better of the action against Jackson Marinez. Unfortunately for him, Michel Rivera isn't Jackson Marinez. He's much better. So anyway, look for that, guys. We're going to be on Ryan's channel on Boxing Gems on Saturday. I hope you can join us. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to have the Sweet Amber flowing then as well. Hold on real quick. G Funky says this. I hate boxing Twitter, man. I'm right there with you, brother. I don't really engage very much. I post and then I quickly jump off. JD Spade says this. It hates you too, G Funky. No. Look, I can say this. I don't know anyone who dislikes G Funky. He's so affable and he's so middle of the road and he's factual based.
He's a stand-up guy. That guy
he's a great stand-up guy. G Funky is a guy who's not going to pick sides. He's not going to espouse nonsense based on emotion. He's factual. He's a very intellectual guy, and he calls the action like he sees it, and more often than not, it's right on the money. That's why G Funky is a very respected guy in this business. We love you, brother. Don't take any of that stuff lying down. So I'll say John McSmith says, that genius can't judge and score a fight. Oh, shit. I tell you what, guys, thank you for making my comeback show, my first one within 3 weeks, a real joy to be a part of. Thank you, guys. God bless all of you guys. And I'll try to do another show sometime next week. But if I don't, please have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and enjoy it and spend time with your family, guys.
I'll drag you back, Joe. I'm going to make you say that line. Every time I try to get away, they pull me back in.
Dude, you know what, man? I may be in the minority, but I love me some Godfather 3. I love all 3 movies. Honestly, I love Francis Ford Coppola. I think he's a great director, and I love all 3 movies. And I tell you what,
too many
huge
lines,
huge fan of The Godfather. Yeah, dude, huge fan of The Godfather. Like, guys, in case you've never seen this, okay, because I'm a huge cinephile as well. In case you guys have never seen this, on Paramount Plus right now, you can get on demand a series that they came out with called The Offer. If you're a big Godfather fan like I am, it's must-see TV.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Is it a feature film or a docuseries?
It's a series. It's based off the making of The Godfather, and it is absolute money. Guys, it's so good, and you'll learn a lot about your favorite franchise. Like, if you love The Godfather like I do, you'll learn a lot about it, you'll appreciate it, and you'll love it. Guys, trust me, this series, The Offer on Paramount Plus, is one of the best series to come out in 2022. So at the end of the year, it's appropriate. So guys, check it out if you can. If you have Paramount Plus, check it out. And once again, I will say this before we leave, right? There are a lot of people raving about a kind of a shitty movie that's out right now with David Harbour. And I love David Harbour, but it's called Violent Night, in which Santa is a former Viking and a badass who just whips the shit out of everybody. And it's like it's almost like a spoof of Die Hard, right?
Oh, okay.
He comes across a house, right? And I've already seen it. He comes across a house and somehow he gets knocked off the roof, right? And his reindeer take off and he's there isolated in this house. And it just is coincidental that some terrorists break into this house and hold this rich family hostage to try and get $300 million, right? So it's just like Die Hard. He's the poison pill. He is the John McClane of this movie, right? Unfortunately, he's not as cool, doesn't have the acting chops, and the terrorists aren't as cool as Hans Gruber.
Oh, Hans Gruber.
So guys, look, if you think it's going to be as good as Die Hard, Well, think again. It's not nearly.
That
So if
was
you
the
guys are looking
Yippee-ki-yay,
at,
motherfucker.
yeah, if you guys are there, yeah, look. In no point in this movie does David Harbour or Santa Claus have a line as cool as "Come to the coast, have a few laughs." Okay, that doesn't happen, right? That doesn't happen in this movie. So, Violent Night, guys, my advice: bypass this movie. Don't watch it. If you're gonna watch, if you're interested in seeing a creative spin on Santa Claus or a Christmas movie, check out Fat Man with Mel Gibson.
Okay.
That is a much better movie, much more fun, and it doesn't try and humanize the legend of Santa Claus nearly as much. So those are my final thoughts. And once again, guys, if you must know, under a pseudonym, I used to actually do movie reviews for AXS.com for 7 years. I love movies. Okay? So there it is. And you know what? I think in 2023, I'm going to start doing movie reviews again. I might even make a new YouTube channel just for movie reviews.
I haven't, once the pandemic hit, I stopped going. So
well, I tell you what, I still love going to the movies. It's the best environment to see new movies at the theater, right? Guys, go support your local theaters. Go support the movies. I'm such a huge fan of that. Truth be known, aside from music, I think it's the very best entertainment outlet that you can have. I'm a cinephile. I'm an audiophile also, as well as I love my beloved boxing, right? So there it is. Frank, is there anything you'd like to share to us in the final moments of this show?
No, that's it. I think it was a good show. Had some interesting perspectives and views, and hopefully we can get one more out of you before the year ends.
Well, I tell you what, 2.5 hours in, we'll see what happens. But guys, nonetheless, I'm going to be on Boxing Gems on Saturday. Please join us for that, and hopefully we can have one before Christmas. So, guys, God bless all of you. And once again, if you're feeling generous, please donate to Cash App War Week. Thank you so much, guys. And guys, on behalf of Big Frank, on behalf of Anthony Manzano, on behalf of Ryan from Boxing Gems, on behalf of anyone who is on this show, God bless all of you guys. And I'm Joseph Hearn. You've been listening to War Week Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.